Hello, dear students. Today we discuss Plato's views on imitation and significance of his objection to poetry. Plato was the first systematic critic of the age. Plato was an idealist. He believed that ideas are alone true and real. He regards imitation as mere mimesis or representation of the ideal forms and not expression which is creative. His book Republic gives us valuable guidance on imitation. In his opinion, anyone who imitates these individual objects is imitating an imitation. It is something which is removed from ultimate reality. His attack on poetry and its ground, Plato attacks poetry, drama on moral, emotional, and intellectual ground. Since the poet narrates the tale of man's pleasant vices, and this has a demoralizing effect, the poet tells lies about gods. Gods are represented as culprits, corrupt, immoral, dishonest. It means they are also similar to common man who is full of vices. The poetry has adverse effect on young generation, which finally damages their morals. As the poet write poetry by divine inspiration, because that inspiration may siege any time. But then the partial truths in the poetry should be carefully examined. The poets, due to their emotional frenzy, cannot afford proper guidance. The poets cannot explain what they write, for their imagination is nor rational. Allegorical representation may be clever, but they are beyond the reach of the young people. Except lyric, poetry, epic, tragedy, comedy are imitative. Such poetry is harmful. Thus, while writing poetry, the poet keeps away reason and gives full freedom to his emotions. Plato is against all emotions. Plato attacks poetry on intellectual ground, as the poets have no knowledge of truth, for they imitate appearances, not the truth of things, illusions instead of reality. In conclusion, we may say Plato, one of the greatest philosophers, criticized poetry as an imitation of imitation. He says in his Republic, the poets are to be honored, but they are to be banished from his ideal state. Everywhere Plato in Republic highlights the evil effects of imitation and emotion. As an advocate pleading for better type of literature, Plato has come forward with a protest for poetry. But then after examining pros and cons, Plato does not pronounce any judgment.